Good evening. It is 9:18, Sunday, December 21st. It's almost Christmas. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's Christmas 2025. The year is about to end. And yeah, as ever, unlike some of the hacks out there, no editing, 100% raw video, which is probably a good thing in some ways. But that does mean is that if there's any stopping and stuttering and oh my god, what else could there be? Just I'm not gonna edit. I don't have the time. I don't have the patience. I don't have the energy to do editing. Not doing it. So what are we gonna do today? We're looking at what I'm kind of increasingly calling my just it's gonna I think it's gonna become a regular thing. I used to do it on X, but I don't have the time to do all that. All the time, all the pain I have done. I don't have the pain tolerance to do all of that on X anymore. I'm not typing it out. I'm just gonna do video. It's simple. So we're going to cover A to Z of stocks. We're going to stay on a few. We're going to flash through a few others. But yeah, a bit of everything. And yeah, we're going to start with AA Alcoa. Look at that. Look at that. 8 months straight up. Look at the acceleration in the upside. This is good, right? If you're a midterm equity bull, Alcoa is a sort of really, foundation of the American, like I say, foundation of the old American economy, but it's a good company. And look at it, it's accelerating away. No more way past the 47s. It's in the 50. Look, it's up 22% on the month, but nobody seems to notice or care. Next resistance, the January 2023 55. So that's another $4 up, which is about 8% or so. Got to be bullish Alcoa, king of retail um, tech, Apple. So new historic high 288. It's just cooling back a bit. It doesn't have to settle up on the month for it to be it's still midterm bullish, right? Massive, way above the 10 MA. Got to be bullish Alcoa. Airbnb's up 15%, but I do not like this one. Broadly, it's a multi-year chop fest. Too many regulatory problems. Otter Aviation Air Taxi, 4.5% on the month. It is midterm broken, arguably until it's back above 10. I like the company. I guess you could argue the bold, the bold will be buying perhaps. I do like the air taxis. I mean, there's a big future in that. What did I say about that last week? Look at this. Look at this. American Eagle up 36.5% in the 27s. Next resistance. I mean, there's a bit of resistance around 30, especially around 32 though. But clearly another, you know, 8, 9% up. I mean, you could argue it's RSI 69 overbought, but it could easily go up for a couple more months. You see, this is actually the 2021 top's a good example. Look at this. April 21, spiky candle. May 21, spiky. June 21, spiky. And then July was the first down candle. And then down we went. Went down about what? 35% into October, which of course was when the main market floor. And then down to the eights. That was ugly. And you see across here in June, Sydney Sweeney comes in. Actually, I don't know when that was. When was that? When did Sydney Sweeney join the train? Maybe that was in October. No, it was before then. It was around the 13th, right? Maybe it was August. Anyway, bullish, bullish. AMD, great tech, but it's struggling. Down 1.9%. Momentum is, I mean, look, on a pure momentum basis, this is uh this is a problem. Amazon, king of retail, second month down to 2.5% at 227. Still midterm bullish with 10 MA. If it does close below the 10 MA, probably not December, but maybe in January, then I'd accept you could look for the lower Bollinger around 170. But that's you know, I wouldn't be sure of it. ARK, do we care about ARK? No, we don't. Boeing, look at that. If you're again, if you're bullish the main market, you need to see stocks like Boeing power upwards, and Boeing's up 13% on the month. Very impressive. So we have a higher low. So the low in April was 128. The October low, actually, that was a November low, 176. And we're back above the 10 MA. Target is upper Bollinger 234. That's $20 up. It's 9%. Should do that in January, right? Alibaba. I mean, this is the thing, I've said this publicly many times. There are so many good American retailers. Why would you buy Alibaba? I always have a problem with this. Clearly, it's midterm bullish, but nope, no, thank you. Bank of America, new historic high at 3.5%. Earnings are due in a couple of weeks. It should be okay. Caterpillar, new historic high. It's cooled back a bit, but what a run, like, look at this, 264 to 627. That's like 100 and, I don't know, 130% up, 150% maybe. It's amazing. Lumiko, uranium. So that's up almost 2% on the month. Had a big uranium miners all dropped in November, but looks like they're going to sell December okay. Carnival up. Look at this. Carnival had earnings on Friday, which I think were okay. Up 20% on the month. Next resistance is around what, 30, 34, 35. Cleveland Cliffs up 1.4%. Bit of a mess, though. I'm not a fan. CNX, don't care. Deckers, yep. Look at the Deckers. So Deckers cooled back, of course, on Friday because Nike earnings annoyed the market a little bit, and it's come down from the 105s to 99. So you see the candle's a little spiky from the 10 MA, which, and of course, 100 threshold. I do think it's going to break up and away. Soft target is 125 and then 150. I'm guessing, and this is why I'm sticking my neck on the line quite openly. I think this is a $150 stock. Is it going to be in Q1? Probably not. No. Q2 maybe, but certainly by in my views by September of next year, this is $150. So that's a clear 50% up between now and September. If I'm right, implications for the main market. And I mean, the thing that surprised me some months ago was earnings. They came out, their earnings were fine. And Nike earnings as well, what they weren't terrible. There's no growth in Nike, but I think Deck has had good growth, which was what surprised me. And look, this was 223 in January. And also notice this candle. Bearish engulfing with a spike, right? That's a sell signal. And down we went all the way to 78. And now we're trying to break back up and away. Target is 150. Moving on before I get bogged down in that one. The mouse. The mouse is up 7%. I mean, I'm not a fan. I heard Zootopia 2 was a box office bomb. Energy Transfer yield is around 8%. Stock is still short, midterm broken. Because look at this. You see how all the way along here from 2020 mostly it was generally holding above a 10 MA, and it broke in April. It tried a rally, but it it's failing. Of course, subdued oil prices are not helping. Ford, which of course had a $19 billion write-off on its EV segment on Thursday or Friday. Not good. But stock is set for a yearly close, the best yearly close since 2022. Freeport McMoran up 14% on the month in the 49s. If you assume copper's got to break above 6, which would be a new historic high, then Freeport's got to go above 54. It's a good miner. GE Aerospace. Look at this. So they sold it off early December, and now they're rebounding it. Probably going to get a new historic high, right? Google down 4% on the month, but yeah, it's just a bit of cooling. The squid of Goldman. Look at that, up almost 9%, new historic high. Very impressive. Home Depot. So again, some of the big retailers are struggling because the consumer's broken, of course. I will note that the 50 MA has been support for a long, long time. Even you see it back in 2020, it put in a spike from the 50, did it again in October of 23, did it again in April 25, did it again in November. And so now it's like, okay, you could be long Home Depot, and your stop's got to be around somewhere around 330 or so, right? Intel, notably, current candle was bearish engulfing, also with a spike from key price threshold, down 9% on the month. But of course, remember, U.S. government own 10%, right? I could understand some buying if it can break above like 40. Yeah, anything above 40, any monthly close above 44, not this month, but maybe in January or February. And then it's a straight run to challenge $50. Joby, another air taxi. A lot of chop, but it's performing better than Archer Aviation. JP Morgan, best of the financials, new historic high at 1.3%. Impressive. JB Holmes, of course, housing market is a problem. We all know that, right? Down 10% on the month, not helped by Lennar earnings on I think it was Thursday. Yeah, that's a bearish engulfing candle. Doesn't It's not great. It's a problem. Kinder Morgan, yeah, much like Energy Transfer, a lot of chop. I can see it's stuck around the 10 of May because of oil. Lithium Americas again, still another. This company will not be mining any lithium for another year. It's taking about 3 years to get the Thacker Pass in Nevada mine set up. I could accept some people will be buying on a long term hold basis. Oh look, it was $10 in October. 10, and now it's 4. It's been cut in half. I can understand people buying it on a long term basis. You can never have enough lithium. A Lockheed Martin arguably the best of the defense stocks, up 4% on the month. You can argue that structure is a multi-month bull flag. I would be bullish to around 550. Cheniere Energy, because net gas has been coming down recently, but yeah, should level out soon. Las Vegas Sands, not a historic high, but it did break a marginal multi-decade high. The casinos aren't doing that great, really. It's a lot of chop. Meta Platforms up 1.7%. It is interesting that the candle is spiky from the 10 MA. You can see they've been selling into it. Not great. Mosaic, a lot of chop. MP Materials, which of course US government owned 10%, and they want to have an option for another 5%, I believe. I mean, down 12%. Look, it's in the 53s. When it was $100, I called $50 when it was 100. I wasn't short, but I did say at the time I would be a willing buyer at around 50. Look at the 10 MA, 48s. This is, I mean, it's from a cyclical perspective, there's no sign of a turn. That's the short-term problem. Good company though. You can never have enough rare earths, right? Morgan Stanley, like the other financials, new historic high at 4%. Impressive. Microsoft, the fourth month lower of 5. Not great, but hey, I mean, where would you turn bearish Microsoft? I mean, really, under that low, 342, but that's $140 down. That's like that's a long way. Micron, which of course is abandoning the consumer segment of Corsair, and I'm literally talking via a laptop with a Corsair drive. Great drives, and they're not going to be selling them anymore, which is a real concern to people who build their own systems, which includes me. But yeah, Micron up 12%. You know, recent earnings were good. I mean, who the hell would be short of that? Look at these interesting candles here. Look at this. Look at that. Look at the amazing. Um, look at how they were selling into the 10 of May, and then it floored at 61, of course, in April, and off we went. 61 to 265. Incredible. And zero sign of a turn. I mean, really, there's nothing there, right? Netflix was, of course, is currently on track to win the bid for Warner Brothers, but yeah, I mean, look, we're down for the fifth month of 6. We are short-term, mid-term bearish, and I mean, look at this. Momentum has only turned negative this month, so we're probably going to tick down for a couple of months, right? Right? If you imagine we're going to tick down for another 2 months, that gets you to $70. I know there's people out there who think 90 or maybe 82, but considering the monthly setup, I gotta think 70 is probable. That's $24 down, which is about 27%. Nvidia up 2.5%, 2.3%. I will say the November candle was bearish engulfing, which did play out briefly, but looks like we're gonna settle net higher for the month. I mean, from a pure cyclical perspective, this is not pretty. At the current rate, momentum will turn negative not in January, but in February. Occidental, down 5% on the month, struggling with oil. Look at how It's just midterm bearish from 73s, which of course is a huge multi-decade threshold. Oh, look at this maxing out 71, 72s, 73s. What's it going to do in the next up wave? 74s maybe? But yeah, they're selling this. It's not great. Pfizer down 2%. Not much to say there. Palantir, which of course is Michael Berry's big short. So Michael Berry, uh, either he was short in October or November, and he had a November was a bearish engulfing candle, and it did briefly play out for a few days, but look at it, it's up 14% now. You got to think Michael Berry's got to have to, if he goes above 207, he's going to need to cover. Not a fan of that company on a ethical basis. Peloton, it's just a great example of a flatlining zombie. PayPal, another one, a flatlining zombie. But PayPal is it's very profitable company, but the stock, nope, stock is a zombie stock. Transocean, wow, down 10% on the month, $3.97. I mean, again, flatlining zombie most of the time, right? Years and look at this. I mean, you could argue it's come down from 13s in 2015, 66 cents when people thought maybe it was gonna go. There's nothing good there. Rocket Lab, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. So it was up 17% on Friday because news of a Pentagon $800 million contract. And you got to think SpaceX IPO probably next September in my estimation. And if that's the case, and if the main market holds together into all the way across into some late summer, what's Rocket Lab gonna be? $200? Probably, right? Look at this candle. Look at this candle. Bullish engulfing candle from the 10MA. Isn't that interesting? Look at that. Look at this spike off it. Spike, spike, spike. Up we go. Yeah. I mean, considering this candle, why would we not expect $100 in January or February? I mean, $100 is $30 up. That's what is that? 40% ish. It's good company. Rumble, yeah, it's dead money. Good website though, which I use. Schwab up 6.5%. Actually did break. Look, it did break a new historic high this month. So that's a bullish engulfing candle. It's $98, clearly going for 100. And then you think, okay, considering structures a bull flag, you think 110. Yeah, 110 looks realistic in January or February of earnings. Very good broker. Schlumberger up 6%, struggling with oil. I could accept from a cyclical perspective, momentum wants to turn positive. I mean, we've come up from $30 in April to 38. I could understand somebody buying here because you could even argue that we have a slightly higher low like we did from 2020. I could understand people buying oil stocks at this time. SMR nuclear stock. Yeah, this is horrible. I mean, again, when the stock was 57, I called for $20, which at the time seemed ludicrous. And now we're in the 16s. That's amazing, right? Nothing wrong with the company. I like the company. I should own this. Why am I not owning? Why don't I own this? It's a good company. Target. Target up 8% on the month, $98. It is above the 10 MA. It's above key price threshold. You can argue we have a double low from the 84, 83s. Uh, Monthly momentum is due to turn positive in either January or February. I can understand people buying this. There's value here, right? Look, buying here is better than buying it in the 296, was that 236s? Yeah, 236. 236 to 83, and it's 98. What's the upside potential realistically? 100 125, 130. Yeah, 130 looks realistic. Tesla. Tesla new historic high, 495, up 11% on the month. Bullish engulfing candle. Clearly they want to push this to 500, right? Cyclically on the high end, but no sign of a turn. Zero. The valuation is ludicrous, but it'd be even more ludicrous to try shorting it, right? Oh, we're getting there. Taiwan Semicon, midterm bullish. No one cares. Take Two, Grand Theft Auto 6, churning, midterm bullish. United Airlines. Wow, look at that. Up almost 12% on the month. Set to challenge the January historic 116s. The airlines are doing well, right? Impressive. Uber. The November candle was bearish engulfing. That played out. You look at this. Look at this. It's down 9% on the month. Look at the candle. It's spiky from the 10 of May. Bearish. Zero sign of a floor. I mean, you can argue, hey, it's trying to floor from around this blue line, but look at this. On a momentum chart though, momentum's just turned negative. We could easily go drop for a couple of months. So that's actually a pretty bearish one. Not pretty. Only bullish if it goes back above 87, which doesn't look likely anytime soon. Uranium energy, much like Kamiko, November was rough. It's probably going to settle net high for the month. Ah, yes, United Health, which is I've been droning on about for weeks. Structure is arguably a multi-month bull flag. It's currently down literally 15 cents for the month, but it's got to break up and away, isn't it? I've been calling it now every day for a few weeks. I think this is going to break up and away. Natural target would be around 470s. There's a gap zone, and you can even see a key price threshold from around 460. I mean, if you say 470, that's $143 up. 143 on 327 is about 38, 39%. When could that be? When could it get to 470? So not in January, not in February, probably maybe in April or May. It's going to take at least a few months to get up there. But yeah, I think this is going to break up and away. UPS. Look at this one. This one is you can certainly argue UPS is long-term bearish, right? It was 194. And look at this. Big black candle, right? Marking a key high. Very rare to see a black candle on a monthly chart. But when you do see one, it's usually it merits attention. So yeah, 194 all the way down to $80 in October. The October candle, bullish engulfing. It did stall at the 10 of May. November was a marginal net gain. And look at this. We're up 6% or yeah, 6% on the month. We're set for a decisive close above the 10 of May and above this threshold. All that's left to go now is that trend line, which is roughly around 110. I think it's going to break up. If it does, natural target would be around 100, yeah, call it 130. Maybe in, uh, Maybe in March. 130 in March. Yeah, March, April. If I'm correct about this, then the main market will be broadly higher as well. Oh yeah, Warner Brothers up 15% on the month. Back in the 27s, the market. I think the Paramount bid was for like 27, 30 bucks. Netflix bid was equivalent to 27. I think Paramount. I wouldn't be surprised if Paramount raised that bid. In theory, they will. Maybe they'll offer like 32, 33, which would get it back to where it was in 2019. There is value, right? In these, the company has a lot of IP, not least the DC stuff and Dune and Barbie. Let's not forget Barbie. Wells Fargo, look at that, new historic high up 8%. Not a fan. Institution should have been shut down by the Fed years ago, all those fraudulent accounts. Exxon, it is very stuck, of course, because oil's very subdued. Um, if it does break above 121, though, that would be a new historic high, and it would give confidence of maybe 140, 150 by the end of next summer. Same for Chevron, and I think this is the final one, XYZ. Yeah, very again. The chart is very similar to PayPal. It's a zombie stock. Good company, good service, profitable, but the stock is a zombie. There's nothing going on here. It's just chop. It had this little breakout, of course, on the notion that everybody's going to be working from home forever, and of course that isn't the case now. And went right back into went right back into the same trading range that it started with, right? Same for PayPal, right? Little burst and right back to where it started, and then it's flatlining. All right, one final chart. I'm not going to talk about gold, silver, and the miners. I did that yesterday, so I really should just find my year-to-date chart. There it is. All right, scroll down just a touch to get the dates in. There we go. That's a beautiful chart, if I do say so. Year to date, so we have 6.5 trading days left of the year. Remember, Christmas Eve is a half day, and other than that, we have 6 full trading days. So 6.5 full trading days in total. So year to date, silver is up 132.7%. Gold's up 65%. It is clearly a year for the precious metals, and notably, a number of people have pointed out now that silver is like accelerated from gold in end of November. You see there? There was the break. That's when silver really just think. So gold is still going up broadly, but silver's accelerating up away. And you see these little pullbacks here, but yeah, hell of a year for gold and silver. Copper's getting overlooked by most people. Dr. Copper is telling you it's been a strong year. We're up 36%. Equities, it doesn't quite feel like it, but we are. It's still been a good year for equities. We're up 16% in the S&P. And even dirty bonds. Bonds are up almost 5%. And of course, ironically, oil is down 21%, which of course is bullish for the US and global economy. Cheap energy is a very, very good thing. It's one of the best things of all for an economy. It's impressive. So this cheap oil is propping up equities. Quite incredible. Anyway, we have an interesting week ahead, only 3.5 days long, and then we have 3 days after that. Next week, I should say. Yeah. New Year's week, as I call it. I wouldn't expect much. Remember, typically the Santa rally will begin as of December 26th and will typically last into the first week of January. Then things get tricky, perhaps especially so for silver. And I am curious as to how silver will open Monday. In my best guess, and I'm kind of hoping it will. Hoping it will open down. If it opens up, of course, I will not chase, not least in Christmas week. In Christmas week, the cautious will do nothing. They will turn off their screens and just take the week off. Anyway, let's get this posted up before the futures wheel spins up in an hour. I do sincerely, for the record, wish you a good week. Be good.